JDBC programming is all about. So what is JDBC programming? So JDBC programming is all about developing a Java application. So it is all about what? Okay. So you are developing a Java application, and that Java application needs to be connected to the database. Okay, needs to be connected to the database. So that is our main aim. Okay. So whenever you are talking about this Java application, what this Java application should contain? So this should contain JDBC API, as I've told you. Okay. And this JDBC API is given to you by the uh, Oracle company by giving you all the interfaces, okay, interfaces, classes required for this. So of course, interfaces and classes will contain. So interface and classes will contain all the required methods, all the required constructors, and everything. So it will contain. So now coming to the database. So what is a database? Okay, so what is a database basically? Okay, so what is database? A database is a collection of. So what is a database? It is a collection of data. So as you have told me that you have idea on SQL, so I'll not be going into the depth of this database and all. So I'll just try to give you a simple definition for that. A database is a collection of data. So database is a collection of data. So basically we have two types of data types. Okay. So one is like structural. Okay. So structural databases, and you have non-structural databases. Okay. So we are not worried about non-structural databases here. So we are only worried about structural databases, so where the data will be in the form of tables. Okay, so data will be in the form of tables. Okay, so you will be connecting to the database, so where you will have tables. So what we will be doing, so we will be creating the table, so we will be retrieving the data from the table, so we will be doing updates, so we will be doing deletions. So that is why we call it as CRUD operations. Okay, so we will be concentrating on the CRUD operations. Okay, so CRUD operations, so that will be our main aim. So for that, I'm going to use MySQL database. So MySQL database. So we are going to connect to the MySQL database. So hopefully you know what is MySQL database, and I'll show you how we can install it. Okay, so install it, and I'll also give you one documentation website where you have all the installation steps. So first we need to install it, right? So installing MySQL. So installing MySQL. So where I have to install MySQL, the link. So MySQL download. Okay, so MySQL download. Okay, sorry, MySQL download. Okay, so downloads. So when you go to the downloads, so you will have. Okay, so I will MySQL download. Okay, so we'll directly go to that website. So that. Okay, so MySQL download. So here you find MySQL installer. So directly I'll click on that. So this is the MySQL installer. So you can just visit this website. So you can just visit this website. So from there you can go for. So you can go for this. Okay, so this is the link, and this is what you need to download. Okay, so this is what you need to download. So what you have to download, so you have to download the bigger one basically. Okay, so this you can download, and once you download it, so you will get a file, and that file you can start downloading. Okay, so you can start downloading, I mean you can start installing. So I'll also give you the installation steps. So the installation steps, MySQL installation steps, so that because I have already installed it in my system. Install steps. Okay, so steps, basically you might be going for Windows 11. So you have many videos and also things. So I'll give you a best one, best possible one, so that you can just easily understand how it goes. So you are going to install MySQL. Okay, so here, okay, so this one I asked you to download. So from here you can follow the steps. So you can directly also follow, no problem. So here everything steps will be given to you. And one thing need to be done compulsory is to give the password. Okay, so how to go for it? So everything is here. So all the steps will be here. So the only thing that you need to provide is the password basically. Okay, so password. So here, okay, so let me give you better one, so that there will be no issues for you to go for it. Okay, so I think this will be the one. Yeah, so Visual V C++ also should be there in your system, so that is fine. Yeah, this would be better. So you can go for this. So go for this, go for this. All the steps and everything will be there. If you have time, you can just read them. Otherwise, you can leave it. So here is where you need to keep the password. Okay. So password you need to keep. Don't change anything. So just keep that password. Okay. So password. So username, let it be root. Don't change the username. So if you want any other username, you can go for. But I recommend you to keep it as root only. Okay, so this one, so slowly move down. So once it is over, so see here, username root and password is this. So once it is over, just you can, okay, so this would be good website for you for understanding. So installation steps, and if you're finding any difficulty, you can ask me, no problem. Installing steps. So installing steps you can get from this website. Okay, so just click on it, you will get it. Okay, once the installation is done, once the installation is done, once the installation is done, so what you can go is, so you can go for the uh, MySQL command prompt. Okay, so you can go for MySQL command prompt here. Okay, so MySQL command prompt. So here I will go for giving you this. Okay, so here I will say MySQL. So this is the MySQL prompt. Okay, so MySQL prompt here. Once installation is done, so you can go for MySQL command line. So once you go to that, so what we have done? So we have to open this MySQL command line. Okay, MySQL command line you open. So once you open it, so here the password what you have set here. Okay, so password what you have set here. So you can type the same password. So let it be very simple password. So here I use 123456 because it has to be easily remembered, right? So that is what it is. So once you have MySQL, so this is known as the MySQL prompt. Okay, so this is known as what? So this is known as the MySQL prompt. So what is this? So this is MySQL prompt. Okay, so open MySQL prompt. MySQL prompt. So MySQL prompt. So it opens up MySQL prompt. So we enter the password. Okay. So once we enter the password. Okay. So once the password is entered, so you will have the prompt here. Okay. Right. So now first thing that you need to do here is create the databases. Okay. So what you have to do here, you have to create the database. Okay, create the database. So how we can create the database? simply you can use create database, and you can give the database name. For example, I give advanced Java 10 a.m. Okay, so I'm just giving advanced Java 10 a.m. So you can have your own name, no problem at all. Okay, so once you create this database, okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm creating the database. So I'm creating the database advanced Java. So now database is created. So now I can see the database by saying show databases. So once I say show databases, now you can see your database is here. Okay, so these are all the things that I will be doing for other batches. So this is advanced Java 10 a.m. Okay, so your database is created. Okay, so where is your database now? Your database is in the MySQL. So your database in the MySQL. Okay, so these are all the other databases that are there. You don't worry about them. Okay, so here is your database that you have created, the last one. Okay, so here is your database. Okay, so don't worry about all this. So this is just other batches. Okay, right. So in this way, we have created a database. So what is our main aim now? Our main aim is to connect to this. Okay, so our main aim is to connect to this particular database. Okay, so now we have the database also ready. Okay, so we have the database ready. So we know that the Java application has to be created using Java JDBC API, and we need to connect to the database. Okay, so we need to connect to the database. So now what we are doing, we are going to connect with the MySQL database. Okay, so in order to connect with the MySQL database, so you need to follow some steps. Okay, steps for connecting the database from a Java application. From a Java application. So from a Java application. So up to now you have created. So you have went for console-based applications, right? Means wherein you were connecting to the console, getting the answers from the console. So now we are going to go for the steps. Okay. So what are the steps going to be? So for making it easy, I have just the notes ready for you so that it will be easy and fast without wasting much of our time. Okay, so what are the steps for connecting? So first step is importing the packages. Okay, what is the first step? Importing the packages. Second step is loading the driver. Third step is establishing the connection. Fourth step is creating and executing the statements. Fifth step is retrieving the results, and finally close the connection. So these are the 6 steps that are definitely important for connecting to the database. Okay, so first step we will go for is importing the packages. So what are the packages that are required for this? Okay, so the packages that are required for this are going to be these two packages. Okay, so what are the packages? The packages that are required for JDBC applications is these two packages. So from where they are? So they are from JDBC API. So JDBC API. So what we have over here. So we have what we need to do. So we need to import the existing packages. So what are the packages? Java.sql, javax.sql. So these are the two packages that we will be dealing with. Okay. So first of all, let me go for Eclipse so that we can go for each and every step. Okay. So first, how to do this? By just saying import. Okay, by just saying import. Okay. So now there is one more important steps to be done. So that is this step. So what is the step? Download the appropriate jar files. Okay. So the jar files are also required for this. So what are the jar files that are required? I'll tell you. So first let me open this. Okay. So now what I'll do is I already created your batch Java 10 a.m. So here I will right click and I will create a package first so that all my applications will be in that package JDBC pack. JDBC pack. So under that JDBC pack, we are going to create a new file. Okay, so a new file with class. Okay, so connection pro. So what is that void main? So here first thing what I need to do. So I need to import. So basically java.sql dot star. Okay, so once I say java.sql dot star, so it will be sometimes automatically available java.sql. Okay, so java.sql, so it is available right here java.sql. Okay, so with the driver class. Okay, so what is this driver? So what is this driver and what the driver will help us? So driver will act as a medium. So driver will act as a medium between your Java application and the database. So Java application and the database are to be connected with the help of a driver. Okay. So there should be a driver here. So why I need a driver? Because database has to understand the Java things, right? So Java things. So this Java things will be given to the driver. So this is something like installing graphic drivers, installing sound drivers in your system. Okay. So your hardware should understand it, right? So generally graphic drivers, sound drivers. So we have a graphic card or a sound card is used to enhance the sound and the graphics. So for that, as the drivers are required, so here also you require that driver. Okay. So the driver. So that is what you are trying to do here. Okay, so once you have that driver, so you can connect. So how we are going to go for the driver and all we will see. So what we are trying to do here, so we are trying to first step is we have imported. So we have imported java.sql. So still it is not in use. That is why it is saying it is never used. Okay, we will use that, and we also can import javax.sql. So javax.sql. So this also fine. So javax.sql is there and java.sql is also there. Okay. So if we are facing some difficulties here, so then we can go for the external jar file also. So that also I'll show you. So but for now, so this is basic understanding of the packages. Okay, so what the packages are going to have? So that packages, now for example, if you see, you have SQL package. So what that SQL package will contain? SQL package will contain various classes and interfaces. So what are those classes and interfaces that are there in java.sql? So when we import java.sql, what are the things that you will get? So these are the things that will be there in your file. I mean in your Java. Okay. So what are the things that are there? Blob. Okay. So callable statement interface, blob, connection interface, date class, driver manager class. So these are all the things. Okay, we will be using some of them. So we may not be using everything. We will be using some of them now. Okay. So some of them in our program. Okay. Right. So now let us have the so we also will have so java.sql package. Okay. So java.sql package. So these are the things that will be available. Okay, so this all I'm giving you because you can have some extra information on it, right? So okay, okay, so these are the things that are available with the javax.sql, javax.sql, and java.sql is giving you this. Okay, so giving you all this. Okay, so most of them we will be using. Okay, so this is going to be our first step. So in the first step, what we have understood. So we have understood. So in the first step, we have understood. So we have understood that we need to import some packages. What are the packages? JavaX.sql package. java.sql package and uh, java.sql. So this is not necessary for now. So this is okay for us. For our application, this is more than enough. Okay. So now the second step. So what is the second step going to be? Second step is going to be loading the driver. Okay. So second step is going to be loading the driver. So here is where we will understand uh, what we can go. So this is a simple way, first of all. Okay, so this is a simple way, and I will also tell you the way that we can connect according to Java 8. Okay, so Java 8, I mean from Java 8 onwards, some things have changed, but first let me uh, give you the traditional ones. So then we will talk about the latest development, how we can do it. Okay. Now first is what we have to do is, so we have to load the driver. So what we have to do, we have to load the driver. So you have to load and register the driver. So this step is optional. This step is optional because we directly don't register right away. So we can generally register from different ways also. Okay, I'll show you that also. So first what you are going to do, so you are going to go for class.furname. So what is this class.furname method? Okay. So for understanding this class.furname method, so what I can do is I can show you the class API. So in order to understand this furname method, you need to connect to the class API. So class API. So class is already a class. Class is already a class. So what we'll do is, so we will go for class API. Okay. So class API. So better you check out in the latest edition. So 19 is the latest edition. So here, so you can go for the class. So there is a class called class. Okay, there is a class called class, and in which you have the for name method. So class. So what is this class? So in this class you have a for name method. Okay. So for name you have like in two ways, but we are only worried about this one. So what is this for name method? For name method will take a string. So what does this do? So this will be helpful for loading our driver. So this will be loading our driver. So what it throws? It throws class not found exception. So I hope you are well aware of exception handling. So what does this for name method do? So for name method is going to load the driver. Okay, so load the driver. So how it is going to load? It is going to load. So what we are doing here? For name method. So what is that for name method signature here? So or the definition of the for name method. So class dot for name. So what it returns? It returns a class. It returns a class which will throw class not found exception. So how I need to use this? I need to use this to load the driver. So we are using MySQL. If you are going for Oracle, you can use this. If you are going for MySQL, SQL Server, so if you are going for DB2, so these are the various drivers. Okay, you can try it out for other databases if you want. Okay, so driver manager is not required for us, but still we can have some. Okay, so then what we are going to do? So we need to check out. So what do I need to do here? I need to say class dot for name method. So what you need to load here? So you need to load the driver. So what is the driver that we have? So we have Java X, so SQL. Okay, so what we need to have? So driver class. So where is the driver class here? So the driver class will is available. So I cannot take it from here. Okay, because this is not under com something, right? So that is where you need to install the jar file. Okay, so here what you have to do? So what you have to do here? So you have to load this driver. Okay, so you have to load this driver. So for MySQL, what you need to do? So we need to, we need to send the which file? my com.mysql.jdbc drive. So this com.mysql package, com.mysql.jdbc package will come from a jar file. So we need to send the driver as input class name in place of the class name. Okay. So to do this, what we need to do? So we also need to upload the jar file. So what is the jar file? So the jar file is MySQL jar files. I hope it is available in one of my batches. I'll just copy it into your batch also. Okay, so this one, so MySQL, so I'll copy this to your batch also so that I can share it with you. So today is day 4 and you are connecting JDBC connection. So JDBC connection. So these are one-time activities basically. Okay. So MySQL connector. So what I need to do is I need to go for this. Okay. So I need to right click here. So I need to right click here. So I need to right click here. I just go for build a path. Okay. So build a path. So I can say add or I can say configure build path from here, and I can go for module path. I can say external jars. So I can give the path. Okay, I can give the path. So here is where I say open and apply. So once you do that, so you can get the reference libraries. Okay, so now you can see. So com.mysql dot, so this one. So this one. So com.mysql.cj.jdbc. So this is the original driver class. So previously you had the traditional one. So that will not suit here. So what we need to do here? So we need to say com dot. Okay. So my SQL dot cj dot jdbc. Okay. Dot jdbc. Right. So what it throws basically, it throws the class not found exception, right? So you can just say here. So that is why we use that throws. Okay. So from where I got this, I got it from here. Okay. So where is my driver class? So this is a driver class. Okay. So once you have this, okay. So and a little bit change in the driver class where it is available in cj.jdbc. So cj.jdbc, and of course, okay, so I need to have the driver also here. We need to say jdbc dot driver. Okay, so the driver class, it should be loaded in this way. So driver class. Okay, so driver class. So just in order to check, whether the driver is loaded or not, so that the driver is loaded. So this step I'll just try to remove it because it is not required. Okay, so optional. So we'll not register the driver. So it will be automatically done. So you don't have to worry about this extra code unnecessary. Okay. So here jdbc.driver. So once it is done, so we can just check. So I'll just check whether it is successful or not. System.out.println. So driver loaded successfully. So driver loaded successfully. Save this. Okay, so run this. If you get this message, then the driver is loaded successfully. Okay, so this is the driver loaded successfully. Okay, once you get that output, so we have the driver loading done. Okay, so the driver loading is done successfully. Okay, so driver loading is done successfully. So once the driver is loaded, you can go to our next step. So what is our next step here? Our next step is establishing the connection. Okay, so we are done with two steps. importing the packages and loading the driver, and of course we also have build the path. Okay, so upload the jar file using build path, build path of the project, build path of the project. So once it is done, so once the build path is done, so you can move to our next step, establishing the connection. So establishing the connection. So these are the one-time activities. So you don't have to do it daily. Once you're done, so done. Okay, so they are daily the same task. Okay, so establishing the connection. So we are going to establish the connections. How we are going to establish the connection here? The connection is established by using these steps. Okay, so what are the steps that we will have? So these are the steps, and these are the various databases you can go for. Okay, so there are the various databases that you can go for. Okay, so here I am going for the establishment of the connection. Okay, so in order to establish the connection, what we are going to do after loading the driver, so what we need to do, establish the connection. Okay, so now what we need to do for this? So first of all, we need to go for the connection, and this is the way that we need to go for. Okay, so this we will see. And what we have here, so there are two ways in which we can use the get connection method. So now I need the help of the get connection method. So where is this get connection method available? That is available with the driver manager class. Okay. So it is available with the driver manager class. Okay. So driver manager class. So driver manager class API, if you see, you can understand. So what we have here, URL, username and password. So this get connection is used where you don't require the username and password, where you don't require the username and password. So here it is required because so you are going for what we are going for here. So we are going for establishing the connection on the driver manager class. Means what we need to do over here. So we need to go for, okay, so driver manager dot get connection. So get connection. So get connection. So what it will be giving you? It will be giving you the connection interface. So connection on, connection on. So for understanding this get connection method, so you can get into the driver manager API. Okay. So driver manager, so driver manager API. Okay. So driver manager API JDK. So you will get API for everything. Okay. So you'll get API for everything. So you can go for the driver manager. Okay. So what does the driver manager do? It will connect with the. So what is this basically? It is a class. Okay. So set of JDBC drivers. Okay. Basic service basically it is. It is a service. Okay. So it is a service. Okay, so we will know about the driver manager here, and we will also know about the get connection. So where is get connection? Get connection is a method. Get connection is a method. So you can see this is what we are worried about. Okay, so get connection. So this is a get connection method. So what it throws? It throws, so it throws a SQL exception. So it throws a SQL exception. So previously it has thrown class not found exception. Now it will throw SQL exception. Okay. So here I will go. So I will say driver manager. So you will get a red line again. So these are like checked exceptions. Okay. So now I will just say throws exception. So now you can see SQL exception got added. So here what you need to have. So here you need to have this one, JDBC MySQL. Okay, so you need to have this one over here. Okay, so here you need to have this one. So what is this? So here what we need to give, we need to give JDBC is the API. MySQL is the database. Host name means this is your local host. Means your database is in our system only, so it will be a local host. Port will be 3306. Okay, if you remember when we were installing, so we will have the port number assigned to it. Okay, port number assigned to it 3306. Okay, so 3306 is the port. Okay, so standalone server. Standalone server means same you have in the same system. Okay, right. So here 3306 and our what is our database name that we created? We created Advanced Java 10. So we created advanced Java 10 AM is our database, and we need to pass the root. So we need to pass the root and the password 1234566. So we are passing the root and the password. Okay. So root means the username, password means 1234566, which I used for the login, right? So in that way. So now driver loaded successfully. So here connection, right? So I can also check with the connection. So connection established. Connection established successfully. Okay. Connection established successfully. Okay. So now I will save this again. I will run this again. If you are getting connection established successfully, now your connection is perfect. Now we have done the preliminary steps. So preliminary steps means you have connected with the database. So you are connected with the database. Okay. So once you are connected with the database, now it's time to write the statements. Now it's time to write the statements. So creating and executing the statements. So what is the next step here? Next step is going to be creating and executing the statements. So creating and executing the statements. So first of all, creating the statements. Okay. So two different steps we can write, but still we can make it one. Create statements. The statements. This can be done by using the following three interfaces. Following three interfaces. So what are those interfaces that will be going for? So first of all, we will be going for create statement. So first is create statement. So what is the create statement? So connection create statement. Yeah. So statement. So first one is statement. It is used to execute a static SQL statement. So what is the first one here? First one is going to be. So first one is going to be. So first one is going to be statement interface. Okay. So first one is going to be statement interface. Second one. Second one is going to be prepared statement interface. So we'll go one by one. So first we will try to go for prepared statement interface. So first one is statement interface. Second one is prepared statement interface, where we have the parameterized queries. So what they are and all we will I will tell you. Don't worry. And the third one that we will go for is callable statement. So it is going to be used for store procedures. So what are store procedures and all I will also tell you. So these are the three statements which are used for. So which are used for. So these are the statements which are used for. Okay. So we will delete the row. Okay. So these are the three statements which are used for the creation of the statements. Okay. So first statement interface. So first we'll talk about the statement interface. So statement interface. Okay. So we will have to know about the statement interface now. So every time I'm trying to show you the way you have to do, because in the real time, so you will not be getting everything straight. So you need to search, you need to get the information from the available documentation, right? So that's what I'm preparing you for. So statement interface. So in the statement interface, so what exactly a statement interface is going to be? Statement interface is going to be for executing static SQL statement, returning the results it produces. Okay, so that's what the point. So this is what my SQL statement interface is. Now I need to have statement interface. So how can I create a statement interface here? So statement interface. So here statement interface ST. So I cannot say new statement because it's an interface, right? So I need to go for a method called create statement. So I need to go for a method called create statement. So where is the create statement? Create statement is in the connection interface. Create statement is in the connection interface. Okay. So I think we just had connection interface also. Okay, I think we did not. So connection. So we will have the connection API. So connection API. So connection API. So here connection API, of course, is used to connect to the database. Okay, connect session with session in the sense to and fro between the request and the response. Okay, so it is going to create the connection. So I think we need to put it up over here. Okay, so that would be better. So this would be better. So this is the connection. So once I have the connection over here, okay, so what I'm doing now, so I'm going to go for connection method. So what is the method that I can go for getting the statement done? So here I can go for create statement. So here you can see create statement. So this things we will go later. So create statement. So what does the create statement do? Create statement will return. Okay. So what a create statement will do? So create statement will throw SQL exception. So create a statement object for sending the SQL statement to the database. Okay. What it does? It will send the execute. I mean, it will send the statements to the database. Okay. So that's what it does. Okay. So how come it is done? Using the connection. So simply what I can say from here, I can say con dot create statement, right? Now let me write a simple SQL statement to create a table. So just a demo table we will create initially. Then we will try to create some good ones. Demo tab. So meanwhile, I want you people to just go through MySQL queries because I think you know about Oracle, but in MySQL little bit difference will be there. So I want you to go through on this weekend. So you can just go through them so that I can tell you about the queries also. So here I will say column 1, I will just say int, column 2, I will just say varchar, I should say varchar of 20. So varchar of 20 and I will say column 3 I will say float. Okay. So here I took demo tab. So here I'm going to run this query. So next, in order to run this query, okay, so create statement. So what we did here, so we said con dot create statement. So con dot create statement. So now this statement can pass an array. So con dot create statement. So this statement can pass an array. So how we can pass that array? Sorry, pass that SQL statement, not array. Pass that SQL statement. So how we can pass that SQL statement over here? Okay, so we can pass that SQL statement by saying, okay, by using the execute basically. Okay, so I can say st dot execute. So st dot execute. So execute that SQL. So we are saying, okay, so what we are saying here we are saying st dot execute, execute, okay, st dot execute. So what we are saying, execute SQL. Okay, so once you are done, system dot out dot println query executed successfully. Query executed successfully. Okay, so query executed successfully. So here, run this. Now once I get query executed successfully, I can go here and I can see use advanced Java 10 okay, and I will say show tables. Now you can see demo tab got created. Okay, so what is got created here? Demo tab got created. So how it is created? Because we said what we said here. So we said to execute. We said to execute. Okay, so we said to execute. So we'll talk much more about this execute because it is one of the important things I want to have a fresh day to discuss. So meanwhile, so what is your assignment kind of thing? So go through the uh, MySQL queries. Okay, so go to the MySQL queries because a little bit changes will be there from Oracle and all.